Tell the Dream Lord we have received his message.
More than 3 decades after its original publication, Neil Gaiman's most beloved comic book series, The Sandman, was picked up by Netflix. Based on the acclaimed graphic novels by Gaiman, which spanned 75 issues from 1989 to 96, the live-action adaptation has been quite the rewarding experience. The show, which serializes the first 2 comics in the series, Preludes and Nocturnes, and The Doll's House, along with some portions of Volume 3, Dream Country, which mainly centers on the immortal entity Morpheus, aka Dream, or the Sandman, who is forced to wake up from his century-plus-long slumber orchestrated by dark occultists. Morpheus must restore balance in his kingdom, the Dreaming, which has descended into chaos in his absence. Now, throughout the course of his adventures, one of the most important characters that Dream comes in contact with is Lucifer Morningstar, you know, the biblical ruler of hell. After quite a rave of a season 1 and a 3-year-long wait, the Sandman picks up with the story of Morpheus, aka Dream, who is now cursed with the ownership of hell after we see Gwendoline Christie's Lucifer step down from her duties. Having said that, let's not waste another moment and discuss Lucifer Morningstar's powers in the Sandman saga. Before we get too deep into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
From his darkness, dream of the endless, to your infernal majesty Lucifer called Morningstar.
What is Lucifer's character like in the Netflix show? In Netflix's Sandman adaptation, Lucifer is a humanoid with androgynous features. They're described as elegant, beautiful, and cunning, with pale skin and short white hair. Despite this angelic design, Lucifer boasts demonic bat-like wings on her back. They appear as a cold and serene being who hides a Machiavellian, vengeful, and malicious personality, even though deep down they constantly suffer from their fall from heaven. Sometime, right near the beginning of the universe, Lucifer Morningstar was created along with the other angels by God himself. Then, they were known as Samael, the greatest of all the angels. But eventually, Samael rebelled against the kingdom of heaven and was cast down by God into the pits of hell, where they were made its all-powerful ruler. Over the years, they became rather proud as the leader of demons who tormented the eternally damned. Lucifer is a cunning, charming, and sadistic leader, surrounding himself with allies such as the Duke Choronzon, the Lord Azazel, and their right-hand woman, Mazikeen of the Lilim. One fine day, Lucifer was approached in hell by Morpheus, who was in need of his helm and had suspected that it was in the possession of a demon. His suspicion was eventually confirmed correct when Dream discovered his helm with Choronzon, who challenged Dream to a fight. Should Dream win, he would regain possession of his helm, but should he lose, he would have to serve as Choronzon's slave in hell for eternity. While Dream chose to represent himself, Choronzon chose Lucifer as his warrior, and so Lucifer and Morpheus faced off in a battle of wit and wisdom, but this was a battle that Dream ultimately won, thus forcing Choronzon to return the helm. When Dream extended his gratitude to Lucifer for their honorableness, Lucifer questioned why they should even allow Dream to leave, as he had no power in hell. While that might have been true, Lucifer did not know that dreams did have power in hell, as hell itself would have no power if those imprisoned were not able to dream of heaven. That definitely ticked Lucifer off, as they now vowed to destroy Dream one day after feeling furious and humiliated. Following this, Lucifer received an unexpected visit from Lord Azazel, who came at the bidding of the assembled Lords of Hell for their shared goal of defeating Dream of the Endless. They apparently wished to invade the Dreaming, but only at Lucifer's behest. From there, they intended to also take over the waking world and even the Silver City, and since they couldn't leave Hell, they sought to expand its borders until Hell was all that existed. With the generals demanding action, Lucifer promised to act fast, and while Lucifer and Mazikeen agreed that they were not to be trusted, they did in fact need to take action, as it was something that would upset God and bring Morpheus to his knees. Having said that, the recent season saw a really gory progression in Lucifer's character arc. Without giving too much away, we will simply touch upon how Dream is now cursed with ownership of Hell after Lucifer steps down from their designation. In the second episode of Season 2, Lucifer decides that they must cut off her wings, and in a heartbreaking scene, asks Dream to do the honors. What follows is a devastating sequence showing Lucifer weeping as Dream Dream solemnly severs the wings from their body. The scene draws a parallel with a chilling sequence from Lucifer Season 3, which again saw Tom Ellis's Lucifer's wings cut off as he rebelled against his father. In one marked difference, however, it was Mazzy Keen who cut the wings off of Lucifer while weeping as she maimed her master and destroyed any chance of her going home. In the Sandman Season 2, Sturridge's dream takes on the duty, while Lucifer lovingly dismisses her loyal servant Mazzy Keen as they renounce their responsibility to the realm of hell, thus setting up the events portrayed in Lucifer. But with the devil fleeing hell, who's left to look after it? That's down to Dream to decide, as he's visited by various deities staking their claim. What are Lucifer's powers in the show? Well, at the cost of repeating myself, Lucifer is described as the most beautiful, wisest, and most powerful of all the angels. According to Dream, there may be no being more powerful than Lucifer except for God himself. Dream even openly admits that, compared to Lucifer, his own power is insignificant. As an archangel, Lucifer possesses immense celestial power. Their abilities are nearly limitless, allowing them to manipulate reality itself on a near omnipotent level. In a showdown with Morpheus, Lucifer demonstrated this by weaponizing abstract forces like anti-life to harm him. They can also shapeshift into various forms. Like at one point, we see them taking the form of a wolf, and they also wield fire as a weapon. With their vast wings, Lucifer could fly effortlessly through realms, but I guess now they have to take the cab like the rest of us. And, like all angels, they are immortal, not just in terms of never aging, but being truly indestructible, with only God holding the power to end their existence.
I am a dire wolf.
Lucifer's origin story in the OG graphic novel. So, in the void before all creations, that is, the primal monitor, Yahweh created two brothers infused with unlimited might. One was Michael Demiurgos, and the other, Samael, who would later come to be called Lucifer Morningstar. After they were formed, Yahweh guided them, instructed them how to use their powers, and they went on to form the creation known as the DC Multiverse. He was said to once be God's favorite, but when Lucifer rebelled, he was cast out of heaven and tasked with ruling over hell, where he was going to punish the souls of deceased sinners for all eternity. Lucifer reluctantly ruled hell for eons, gaining a fearsome reputation. He came to be known by many names, including the Devil, Satan, Old Scratch, Abaddon, and Belial. At some point, it was said he became bored with his existence after getting irritated by various prejudices that mortals held of the devil, such as the idea that he purchased and traded for souls, which was untrue, or that he forced mortals to commit evil acts, ignoring the fact that they had their own free will. He wasn't evil in and of himself, but punished it in others. Lucifer also felt that his eternal banishment was an unfair punishment, that he should have to rule hell forever just because he rebelled once. Following this, a few years before the events of Sandman, a shadow creature named the Dark challenged heaven, which resulted in a stalemate. This tipped the delicate balance of power in hell, and Lucifer had to form a triumvirate with Beelzebub and Azazel instead. Lucifer first appeared in Preludes and Nocturnes, where he encountered Dream as the latter ventured into hell to retrieve his stolen helm. After Dream challenged a demon for its return and won, he remarked how Lucifer was acting honorably, but Lucifer scoffed at the idea, pointing out that the lords of hell surrounded him and questioned why they should allow him to leave. He dismissed Dream's influence, suggesting that dreams held no power in hell. But, just like we see in the show, Dream's clever response, that hell's power depended on the imprisoned souls still dreaming of heaven, left Lucifer utterly humiliated. Later, in Season of Mists, Lucifer told Cain, who had come as an emissary for Dream, that he had vowed to destroy Morpheus ever since that public humiliation. He seemed almost pleased by the prospect of Dream returning to hell. However, when they meet again, Lucifer surprises Dream by announcing that he had given up his rule. He explained that he had emptied hell and was abandoning it entirely, which was apparently a decision he felt he owed, in part, to Dream. He asked Morpheus to help him cut off his wings and then handed over the key to hell, reminding him of the vow he had once made to destroy him. Whether the key would bring about Dream's destruction or not, Lucifer wasn't sure, but he was certain it wouldn't make the Dream Lord's life any easier. After handing over the key to hell, Lucifer then vanished, leaving his former domain locked and the burden of its fate resting entirely on Dream. Since then, the dead began returning to Earth, while deities from various pantheons and other interested parties made their way to the Dreaming, each hoping to claim the key or arguing that hell should remain sealed. In time, a new ruler for hell was chosen, but Lucifer played no further role in the matter, as he had officially stepped away from it all. The last time he was seen, he was on a beach in Perth, Australia, watching the sunset alongside an old man. The man reflected bitterly on his life, saying it had been rough, but added that any god capable of creating such sunsets deserved a certain measure of respect. In response, Lucifer agreed, acknowledging that the man had a valid point and that, in his opinion, the sunsets truly were spectacular. What is Lucifer like in the books? Lucifer usually appears as a tall, dapper, and handsome man with light skin, amber eyes, and orange or reddish blonde hair. He is eternally youthful and quote-unquote beautifully made. In Neil Gaiman's original depiction, we see him as sophisticated and almost charming. However, beneath his charisma, Lucifer is a deadly and Machiavellian character with no regard for human life or indeed any life other than those he can use to his advantage. He is a proud and vindictive fallen angel who has no qualms about using his powers, as he is the most powerful being after God. Moreover, his proficiency in intrigue allowed him to remain in power in hell for thousands of years. Prior to his fall, Lucifer was described as having been the wisest, most beautiful, and most powerful of the angels in heaven, but I think he retained those traits even after his fall. Despite his egotistic and narcissistic tendencies, he does follow something akin to a code of honor, as Lucifer refuses emphatically to lie, which he considers crass and undignified. He also insists on paying his debts and keeping his word. There are actually only a few rare individuals in the universe he respects, and his brothers, Michael and Duma, are among them. However, it could be argued that Lucifer cares about Mazikeen, his demon consort, and his niece, Elaine, although his actions on their behalf are often for his own benefit, and it's still an open question if he would help them otherwise. What are Lucifer's powers in the graphic novel? Lucifer Morningstar in the Sandman universe stands as one of the most powerful beings in all of existence right after the presence, the universe's equivalent of God. As an archangel, his powers are virtually limitless, and unlike most fallen angels who lose their divine abilities, Lucifer retained his near omnipotent strength after his rebellion. He can manipulate virtually any external force for whatever effect he desires, bending the laws of nature, time, space, and reality itself to his will. However, there's one certain caveat, as he cannot create something from nothing. For true creation, he relies on the demiurgic power of his brother Michael, and later his niece, Elaine Belloc. When paired with them, Lucifer can generate entire universes, craft living beings, and even bring forth multiverses from raw possibility. His power dwarfs even that of the Endless, which is a family of near-omnipotent cosmic entities, including dream, death, despair, delirium, destruction, and destiny. With omniscience, omnipresence, and cosmic awareness, Lucifer is aware of all things across creation and beyond, existing in countless places simultaneously while understanding the grand design at every level. He can travel across dimensions effortlessly, conjuring gateways through flame, some of which lead to hell, while others lead to the vast void that exists outside all of creation. In one instance, he even shattered a gateway across the multiverse, spawning millions of doorways to a realm of his own making. In the books, Lucifer possesses a mind of staggering intelligence and strategic depth, capable of manipulating not just energy, but the very structure of matter, even using residual cosmic energy to forge new suns. With his large feathered wings, he can soar across dimensions or traverse the farthest reaches of space where no human could ever hope to survive. In fact, time too bends to his will. Once, while creating a new universe, Lucifer accelerated the passage of time dramatically, forcing cosmic evolution to happen at a faster pace. His grasp of magic is really terrifying, as he once enchanted a door so that if it were opened, the entire fabric of creation would unravel. Apart from that, Lucifer's mastery of fire is tied to the stars themselves. He can summon flames from the very suns he's created, control them with surgical precision, or unleash them in devastating waves, capable of incinerating nearly anything. He can focus this fire into destructive thermal blasts, use it to disintegrate beings, or mold it into smaller forms with ease. Plus, as a psychopomp or a guide of souls, Lucifer can also determine where a soul ends up, especially when he delivers the death himself. This was the case with Musubi, who willingly let him kill her to escape servitude to the goddess Izanami. If you think about it, Lucifer's physical prowess is just as terrifying as he never tires. He once walked non-stop for 9 days without showing any fatigue and is immortal in the truest sense, as he is billions of years old. never aging and utterly beyond the reach of death except by the hand of the presence. Lucifer is strong enough to launch a person into orbit with a single motion, and his speed borders on the surreal, as there are legit legends claiming that he can circle the planet before the afterimage of his movement fades from sight. He also possesses telekinetic abilities which make him capable of flinging knives that not only slice through enemies, but reduce them to pieces mid-air. Reality itself bends in his presence, as Lucifer can reshape it as he pleases, altering environments, structures, or the laws of physics entirely. In every sense, the Lucifer we see in the graphic novel series is a force of divine chaos and brilliance because he's an angelic being shaped by defiance, armed with the might of the stars, and burdened with the knowledge of everything that ever was or ever could be. His presence is both awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling, not because of what he says or does, but because of the raw potential he carries in every step, every thought, and every flicker of flame. That brings us to the end of this video. Do you think the Netflix adaptation could do justice to Lucifer's character from the books? How do you think they did overall? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section down below, and as always, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.